everyone, are you enjoying Gundam? My name is Maki. I came from Japan to share the wonder of Gundam with you all. Today, I'd love to introduce a particularly fantastic Gundam. Have you ever wanted to see a Gundam that looks like a demon? There are Gundams on the enemy side that fight the main characters in the Gundam series. These villain-like entities are so intriguing, aren't they? The Gundam I will be talking about today is this one. It's the Gundam Epiyon. Its striking appearance, much like a devil spreading its wings, is quite remarkable. It shows up in the latter half of the animated series Gundam Wing. Ultimately, this Gundam ends up dueling against the Wing Gundam Zero, piloted by the main character. It plays a significant role at the climax of the story. But actually, it's initially piloted by our protagonist hero, Yay! And this Gundam Epiyon has a now-inspiring secret system built in. So today, I'll teach you all about the powerful and elegant charm of the Gundam Epiyon. This mobile suit was developed by Treat's Kashrasher after he was forced to resign as leader of ours. It's a Gundam that reflects Treat's belief. The meaning of humanity lies in its struggles, like a manifestation of Treat's chivalric spirit. All its weaponry is made for close combat. Epiyon boasts exceptional mobility. It's equipped with a high-output thruster and Epiyon wings, allowing it to fly at high speed. Furthermore, just like Wing Gundam Zero, it can transform from its humanoid form into a dragon-like figure, known as the mobile armor form. A unique feature is its interface called the Zero System, which directly connects the pilot and the suit, though often referred to as the Epiyon system due to the system's display label. It's treated almost the same in the series. The creator Treats even remarked it is essentially the same as the Zero System. This system directly translates the pilot's intentions into the suit. However, it also directly feeds the pilot with analyzed battlefield data and potential outcomes, including information that might lead to the pilot's death. The brain directly receiving this data can lead to situations where the pilot experiences their own death, making it quite dangerous. Without strong mental fortitude, the pilot risks being overwhelmed by Gundam Epiyon. Not only does it require high piloting skill, but it also needs mental strength to control the system. Epiyon's armor is made from the same Gundam alloy as other Gundams, assuring its toughness. Because the machine is so sturdy, it can handle a high-output beam sword with ease. And of course, it has defensive power that won't be easily taken down by just any attack. Its appearance might seem a bit intimidating with its black and red color scheme, but it has the twin eye and braid antenna characteristic of Gundams, making it somewhat familiar. Isn't it intriguing that Treats, a member of ours who opposes Gundams, would design it to resemble one? He admired the unwavering spirit of Gundams and their pilots, who stand up against adversity. Such feelings gave birth to Gundam Epiyon. He wishes those who pilot the Epiyon to have the mental strength not to be dominated by the system. Hence, he comes with the challenging stipulation that one should not attain victory by piloting the Epiyon. Moreover, the name Epiyon has Greek roots, meaning next generation. From this origin, the Gundam Epiyon also carries the wish to lead those who have been defeated. It's not only a strong Gundam, but also one imbued with complexity and prayers. Let's talk about the stylish and somewhat intimidating Gundam Epiyon's gear. First up, we've got the Epiyon claws. These are attached to both of Epiyon's forearms, acting as a versatile claw that can slice enemies and even assist with landing in flight mode. Interestingly, they weren't used in the anime. Maybe the other weapons were so powerful, they just didn't get their chance to shine. Next, the Epiyon shield. It's attached to the left arm and made of super tough Gundam alloy with a special coating on the surface. It's designed to withstand beam weaponry. It's a compact and maneuverable shield designed for the close combat focused Gundam Epiyon. Then there's the heat rod attached to this shield. Believe it or not, it takes on the form of a wick, and its surface can heat up to incandescent temperatures. Each joint being a sharp blade is another distinctive feature. By combining these two characteristics in its attacks, it can slice through enemies while melting them. It's more energy efficient than beam weapons and allows for more unconventional movements than a beam sword, which are noteworthy points. You can appreciate its sheer power as it effortlessly takes down the powerful pneumobile suits Virgo featured in the storyline. Plus it can even capture enemies, which makes it quite handy. The same way it knocks away Wing Gundam Zero's Twin Buster Rifle and forces it into close combat is also memorable. The beam sword is, as the name implies, sword-shaped with energy supplied directly from the unit. It's capable of a tremendous output with adjustable beam size. It's characteristic that it's connected to the Gundam Epiyon's generator using a cable. By focusing the power of the Gundam Epiyon, which rivals that of the Wing Gundam Zero, it can unleash an immense destructive force. Astonishingly, there's even a scene where it destroys a gigantic space fortress with its maximum output beam sword. By the way, it can apparently be used detached from the cable according to its design. The downside is that the output gets a bit modest when used that way, when compared to Wing Gundam Zero's Twin Buster Rifle, which does no drop in output without the cable. It may seem slightly inferior, but if it's connected with the cable, it won't be knocked away. So, this point doesn't really qualify as a disadvantage or advantage. After all, Wing Gundam Zero was forced into a disadvantageous close combat after its Twin Buster Rifle was knocked away by Gundam Epiyon. Finally, Epiyon also has a weapon called the Vulcan Gun. I know you might be thinking, that's odd. Treats described the Gundam Epiyon as a Gundam for dueling, and didn't equip it with projectile weapons. I remember that too. However, in the final episode of the anime, Gundam Epiyon fires the Vulcan Gun. It's referred to as the Mystery Vulcan by fans, speculated to be a production mistake. Recently, many sources suggest that the White Fang's technical officer under Zeke's command installed it as an additional armament, considering the Vulcan gun was used in the desperate fight against Wing Gundam Zero. This officer's decision seems very wise, but that doesn't mean Treats was wrong. It was a modification resulting from considering the use of Gundam Epiyon as a military weapon. What do you think about all this? The official name of the Zero system is the Zoning and Emotional Range Omitted System. This system was developed by the team of scientists and engineers who created the Talkie and was incorporated into the Wing Gundam Zero. Ever wondered why the Gundam Epiyon has a system on par with it? Treats is depicted as an incredible genius in the series. But do you think it's possible for him to develop a system equal to one created by the world's brightest minds? In fact, there are several interpretations about the origin of the Zero system installed in Gundam Epiyon. One is that it was created based on the analysis of collected Gundam combat data. Even without the Zero system, the knowledge of the Wing Gundam Zero's construction was utilized in the creation of other Gundams. The creators of these Gundams were none other than the scientists who bashed the Zero system. 4 of the Gundams, excluding the Epiyons, were once captured by us. It's incredibly difficult to create the Zero system from scratch. It would surely be impossible without the gathering of the world's best minds. But what if a genius like Treats had some samples to work with in the story? Here's a tale of Treats Trent, a technical officer of ours, acquiring and analyzing the Wing Gundam Zero. This is one interpretation of how the Zero system came to be installed in the Gundam Epiyon. Other interpretations incorporate elements from non-animated works like novels. The developer of the Zero system, Dr. J, is actually called J. Nu. Long before the anime story, a woman named Kaya Pinscraft asked J to clone her cat, Sam. Jay created a program to express the cat's emotions. He then applied this technology to create an auxiliary system for a fighter. This became the basis of the Zero system. Treats got his hands on this Proto-Zero system. Isn't that surprising? He even stole the design data of the Wing Gundam Zero using an OZ agent. It would be unnatural for Treats to ignore the scientists who created the Wing Gundam Zero, considering they are among the world's brightest minds from the knowledge gained here. One interpretation posits the creation of the Gundam Epiyon and its system. Depending on the source, the Epiyon system in the Gundam Epiyon is described as having a different analysis method for leading combat to victory than the Zero system of the Wing Gundam Zero. The differences could be considered academic and interesting, born out of Treats' unique theories and techniques. What do you think? The multiple interpretations that arise are part of the charm of the Gundam universe, don't you think? Finally, let's take a look at the achievements of Gundam Epiyon. The organization of the Zodiac Allies, a part of the Earthsphere United Nation, had become an enormous force, but then was split, leading to an internal conflict. In this war, Hero, the protagonist of Gundam Wing, took part as a mercenary, but the Wing Gundam struggled against the newly launched mobile suits and the combination of the unmanned combat system, the mobile doll. Then a message from Treats comes in. Hero receives the Gundam Epiyon from Treats. Here is its first appearance. However, unable to master the Zero system, Hero ends up destroying all the beings that create battles, regardless of friend or foe. After that, following the battle to protect the Sun Kingdom, Hero swaps units with Zex. Hero will switch to the Wing Gundam Zero. It was a surprise when the protagonist became the first person to ride in the villain suit. Zex joins the White Fang, an organization that protects space-dwelling people from Earth's rulers. There Zex reveals his real name, Miliaro Pinscraft. He was using a pseudonym while in Oz. The Gundam Epiyon, piloted by Miliaro, plays a phenomenal role. The episode where he destroys a massive space fortress with a full power beam sword is incredibly exciting. He also uses the Epiyon system to control the mobile dolls and fights against 4 Gundams on equal terms. Mobile dolls are strong, but they were a bit weak to fight against enhanced Gundams. But with the Epiyon system and Miliaro's skill, it's confirmed they can fight evenly with Gundams. In the final battle, it fights one-on-one with Wing Gundam Zero and is defeated. Then it disappears into an explosion after stabbing a beam sword into the engine to destroy a giant battleship about to crash into Earth. In fact, Miliaro's goal was not to rule the world. His aim was to show the people of the world the misery and folly of war. He also aimed to provoke a grand war by gathering all the world's weapons in one place, so that humanity would not have the military power to wage a large-scale war again. People fight by their own will, and they realize the folly and mistakes of battle. Miliaro's goal was to get people to start the challenge of peace. Treats actually had the same goal. They weren't in contact with each other. Even so, as best friends, they understood each other's thoughts. And that struggle was supported by Gundam Epiyon. It played the role of enemy of the world with its devilish appearance. Doesn't that sound incredibly cool? With that, we've concluded our explanation about Gundam Epiyon. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love Gundam Epiyon. Its character is charmingly opposite to Wing Gundam Zero, which is known for its shielding with the Twin Buster Rifle, weapons specialized for close combat, such as the beam sword and the heat rotor are so cool, aren't they? Of course, I love the Gundams piloted by the protagonists, but I think the Gundams driven by the villains are also awesome and the best. I'm also a big fan of Master Gundam and Ultron Gundam. Do you have a favorite Gundam used by the villains? I would be very happy if you could let me know in the comments. Lastly, there's actually something called the subscribe button on the screen you're watching. When you press that button, the Epiyon system will be activated. If you're prepared to become a proud loser, go ahead and press it. And by pressing the like button, the output of the beam sword will reach its maximum. I hope you find it useful when cutting the grass in your yard. Well, let's meet again in the next lecture. Take care, bye bye!